What a way to come back from the international break. 3 minutes into our game, you see an absolute worldie from Garnacho. Brilliant goal from him today. That was insane. One of the compare that as one of the best bicycle kicks you'll ever see. The height on the ball, the height on the jump. I mean, the way he hits it. Perfect. That was a brilliant goal. What a way to start the game. But after that, there were a lot of negatives in the first half we have to go through today, and I will say that the positive is that at least the second half performance was a big improvement, and we really were able to control the game in the second half. I think today that the pressing didn't really work. If you look at a lot of time scenario, we're in a position like this today when Garnacho would be trying to press from that side, Martial was running through from this side, pressing that way, and Pickford was on the ball. He would have a little bit of time. He could easily play that pass into Ashley Young. We saw that several times today, and Everton would then just counter us and just go push numbers forwards and really threaten us on their attacks. And that was the problem because in the last around 30 minutes of the first half, Everton will really be able to pile on loads and loads of pressure on us. And if they had better players in the final third who could finish chances, they would have torn us apart. I think that's the side of the game that we really need to improve on our mentality and the knowledge to how to control a game and how to stay calm. And we kept trying to play out the back, and it just kept leading to Everton getting so many chances. So that's something we have to work on. And I know if we play like that against a bigger team, against a team any team who has some sort of finisher in their side, we would get absolutely shreked. I will say there's one nice thing I saw very early on in the game was that line splitting pass from the midfield. I think it was Lindelof who played it. It was a fantastic ball out there to Rashford in one of the attacks. I think today Lindelof looked a bit shaky in terms of defending, but his passing and on the ball play was very good. He looked very comfortable. But again, we're still not seeing that pass through the center of the pitch. That was a pass out wide that cut their team. But in order to be one of the better teams in the league, we need to be able to learn how to play pass or split through the midfield rather than just long balls and switches out wide. Today we didn't see many long balls. I think that was mainly because at first Everton were trying to pressure us a lot, and then we ended up obviously in the second half we gained control and we were able to really exploit them on the transition. But I think today the downfall, obviously, the commentators said it a lot. I think a lot of people know that playing out the back kind of went against us today, caused a lot of pressure on ourselves. I think we need to just be getting just a little bit more smarter and understanding, okay, when to play out, when not to play out, how to control a game. I understand you want to stay with the managers' tactics, but you need to also understand in the situation of games, especially when you're goal up and the other team are going to press you and they're going to try and get into the game. You need to understand, okay, when do I want to keep the ball here? Do I want to play that pass, or I just want to kick it long? And sometimes we kept trying to play those passes into the midfield. We gave it to Anana, who would take time on the ball, try playing it into midfield. And today, the midfield, they don't have the ability to play out. Manu had a very fantastic game when we were being pressed and pressured, but him and McTominay and Bruno, they can't really play out from the back in a game like that. So it was wrong to keep trying to play those passes into them. And I think McTominay probably the most accountable for that. He kept trying to pass it backwards, and the people in the defence and the goalkeeper kept trying to play it forwards into them instead of kicking it long and going long the whole time. But I think that was the reason why we conceded a lot of chances, and we were able and Everton were able to pressure us and get a good foothold in the game. Now, there's two performances I want to talk about today. Number one, I want to talk about Kobe Mainu. His first full game, I think it might be his first full Premier League game, first Premier League start. I mean, very solid performance from him today. I'm not going to get too hyped. I know a lot of people are going to get really hyped and think, oh, he's the next thing. I just want to congratulate him for today. Let's see where he goes in the future. Very promising player. I think what I really like about him is that he knows when to make in that drop in movement. He knows how to take the ball and receive it on the half turn and spin away from the midfield and drive forward. And then he also has the ability to get the ball and pick up passes into areas like there or there. We saw him in a couple of good switches into Garnacho, I think, and he played that one beautiful long ball when we took the corner and he was under pressure into Bruno Fernandes, who could have maybe done better and found someone. I think a very mature, composed performance from him today. At this age, that's very good, and I don't think we really have any real midfielders in the team who can dictate a game like he sort of did today. He didn't really. He's very raw, so I'm not going to get too hyped about him, and I understand that this probably could just well be a one-off game, and we with the midfield. Let's not forget was overrun today. But as an individual performance, there were moments in his game where he did very very well. Another person I just want to quickly praise is Anthony Martial. Didn't really do too much in the first half. Barely noticed him, but in the second half, I think he probably for me was the main reason that we were able to control the second half. For me, he was the reason why there was such a big difference in the second half compared to the first half. In the first half, we kept trying to play it long, a lot of aerial balls. It's not his strength. I was thinking, okay, maybe we would have needed Hoyland in this game, but he came out in the second half. His link-up play was very, very good. Um, Won the penalty for the Rashford goal. I almost forgot about that. But even in his goal, he was the one who started he got the ball and waited and played it into Pelistri, who then he made a good run and his weighted pass and everything. His link up today, especially in the second half, was very very good. In the first half, his touch looked a bit off. It looked a bit rusty, but in the second half, he came out and linked up very very well. Um, Good moments from some corners and stuff like that where he was composed and calm, and his weight of pass was very good, and he can link up very very well, which is why I want to see him in sort of a number 10 position, so he can play off of Hoyland. If we need that focal point in the attack, we can play Hoyland, but we sometimes, like almost pretty much every game, I'm looking for someone like Martial, a player like to do what Martial can do in terms of the link up, and we never seem to play him because we always play Hoyland. And today Hoyland's injured. He had a good game. He scored a good goal. He's fantastic when it comes to 1v1s and chipping the ball. Um, but I want to see him playing with Hoyland when Hoyland gets back. Good performance from him, I think, especially in the second half. And I think that was a performance that will most likely go under the radar. So I wanted to point that out. I think in terms of the tactical side, that's it. So I'm going to go straight into the player ratings. Onana 6.5, made some good saves. Solid game, nothing too extraordinary. The fullbacks, I give them both a 6.5 as well. Weren't as involved as usual, but did their job. I give both the defenders a 6.5 as well. Maguire was a bit more comfortable defensively, I think, but Lindelof had very good passing in him. Mainly was 7, brilliant, zero point 0.5 actually, a brilliant performance. I think as a kid that was a spectacular performance towards the end of the first half. McTominay 5.5, didn't even notice him. Fernandes 6, good leadership today, I think. Rashford 5.5, got a penalty, needs that for confidence, but wasn't really involved in the game. Garnacho 7.5, what a banging goal, unbelievable. Martial 7, did very well in the second half, and got his goal as well. I think all the subs I'm probably going to give them all a 6. I think Amrabat didn't really notice him. Plistry tried. Bamisaka did decent. Hannibal came on very late. Overall, my final thoughts for this game, I think that we need to improve on the mentality side and the knowledge of our understanding of how to play a game. I think we lack experience in that team. I understand I'm hearing rumours of a rift between Varane and Ten Hag, maybe even Casemiro and Ten Hag. If that's true, then I am starting to lose faith in Ten Hag because he's let go of Ronaldo, De Gea, Varane, and possibly even Casemiro. These are four of the most experienced and most decorated players in our team. We cannot afford to let Varane and Casemiro go. Those are the only two players who have won a Champions League, or even won a World Cup. Like these are the only two players out there who have some sort of trophy cabinet, some accolades that you can be proud of. I don't understand why he's picking fights and trying to get the wrong players out of the club. And as I've said this before, we're letting go of the wrong kinds of players. And I think in a game like that today, we needed some sort of experience, especially in that first half towards the end. Because if that was any sort of side with anyone who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, we would have been finished. At least they would have got one goal back as a bare minimum. That probably would have been 2 points lost. So we have to be able to learn how to dictate games and control games, especially when we're ahead. Other than that, a couple good individual performances. Nice to see players like Luke Shaw back. I was really, really hoping we get either Luke Shaw or Malacia back. Finally, one of them is here. I think now we really do need to start building off from this. The international break is over. We need to get on the training pitch, work hard, and see if we can really just get good performances on the pitch.